welcome back to The Explainer. Today we're going on an absolute journey. We're going to embark on a structured 5-level quest to transform a completely chaotic 10,000-row raw dataset into real, actionable business intelligence. And we're doing it all using Excel's most powerful tools. We are tackling the famous Samples Superstore dataset today. So, if you've ever just stared at a massive, endless spreadsheet and felt completely paralyzed by the sheer volume of data, well, this explainer is exactly what you need. Let's kick things off with a pretty crucial question, one that really hits on the overwhelming reality of raw business data. How do you find the single most profitable product when it's buried in 10,000 rows of raw text? I mean, it's literally the ultimate needle in a haystack scenario. So let's dive into this. Because the answer, it isn't about just reading faster or scrolling harder. It's about leveraging the exact right sequence of analytical tools. Here is our roadmap to completely conquer this Superstore dataset. We'll start with the raw data challenge. Then, level 1, basic foundations. Level 2 is pivot table power. Level 3, visualizing insights. Level 4 brings in advanced formulas. And finally, level 5, the ultimate dashboard. Let's get to it. First up, the villain of our story, the raw data challenge facing the Superstore CSV. Okay, look at this. This is just a tiny, honestly kind of terrifying snippet of the raw CSV file. You can see right away how impossible it is to glean any real insights without the right tools. Take row 1, for example. Felina Ober bought some storage supplies for about $272. But wait, the profit is actually negative $64. Yikes! Meanwhile, Maria Etizadi in row 2 spent over $2,500 on furniture, and that yielded a really healthy $746 profit. When you have thousands and thousands of rows just like this, human eyes just fail. We need a system. So, we move to level 1, basic foundations, cleaning and calculating. We start by adding some simple calculated columns, and doing this instantly changes our entire perspective on the data. It's a total game changer. Dividing our profit by our sales gives us that crucial profit margin percentage. Subtracting the order date from the ship date, that gives us our days to ship. And dividing sales by quantity reveals our revenue per unit. Slapping these 3 simple calculated columns onto our data instantly brings entirely new dimensions of business value to our raw numbers. Suddenly, we have clear performance metrics for every single order. Now we're leveling up. Level 2, pivot table power, instance summaries. Now, a pivot table? That's your ultimate summary tool. It takes those thousands of rows we were just stressing over and aggregates them based on categories that you choose. It allows you to instantly uncover comparisons, patterns, and trends, and you don't even have to write a single complex formula to do it. Building one is actually super easy. Just select a cell inside your data, head over to the Design menu, and insert a pivot table. Once it's placed exactly where you want it, you just check the boxes for the fields you want. So maybe you pick product for your rows and amount for your values. It really is that simple. And boom, look at how elegantly simple the output is. Raw transaction data is instantly transformed into a crystal clear ranking. We can see right off the bat that beer leads with $2,150, followed pretty closely by soda, and then wine. In our Superstore dataset, we do the exact same thing to compare categories like furniture, office supplies, and technology. All right, level 3, visualizing insights, bringing data to life. By visualizing our pivoted data, you don't even have to read the numbers to know what's going on. It's immediately obvious that office supplies is completely dominating sales volume, followed by furniture and then technology. A chart like this makes your top performing sectors undeniable when you're sitting in a business meeting. And check this out, we can also see each region's exact share of our total sales with just a single glance. The East region holds the lion's share at 35%, while the South is sort of lagging behind at 15%. Visuals like this are absolutely critical, They instantly tell leadership exactly where they need to focus their marketing budget. Time to dig a bit deeper. Level 4, advanced formulas, logical analysis. To really upgrade our analytical toolkit, we need to apply a specific arsenal of formulas. We're talking VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP to pull in specific customer details, COUNTIF and SUMIF to aggregate those regional totals. We'll use if statements to create profit flags, average if to actually measure the impact of our discounts, and nested ifs to rate our shipping speeds, like fast, normal, or slow, based on the exact number of days it took to ship. This right here is a favorite of mine. By writing a simple, logical IF statement that flags orders as profitable if the profit is above 0 and loss if it's below, We can instantly trace and isolate all the loss-making products across thousands of orders. It effectively separates the absolute winners from the losers in our dataset, all in one go. So what happens when we heavily discount? By using the average if formula to compare discounted orders against non-discounted orders, we can visualize the severe, and I mean severe, impact that heavy discounting has on our overall profitability. When you run this on the Superstore data, you'll almost always find that heavily discounted items, sure, they drive sales volume, but they are actually draining the total profit pool dry. Finally, level 5, the ultimate dashboard. Advanced analytics. Understanding this specific concept is huge. It allows us to transition from merely tracking past sales to strategically targeting our buyer segments, RFM. That stands for recency, frequency, and monetary value. By using formulas to score every single customer in the Superstore database on these 3 pillars, you can tell your sales team exactly who your champions are and precisely which high-value customers are at risk of churning. And here is where we bring in Excel's what-if analysis and goal seek. We can model a really powerful scenario. How much additional profit would we recover if we strictly capped all discounts at this single number, just 20%? By changing this one single variable, the entire dashboard updates, showing leadership exactly how much money they are literally leaving on the table through excessive markdowns. It's incredibly eye-opening. Well, we've reached the end of our explainer, but I want to leave you with an ultimate provocation. A challenge, really. I challenge you to take everything you've just learned, open up that Superstore data set yourself, and try to trace that catastrophic loss back to its source. Use your calculated columns, your pivot tables, and your IF statements to find the single order that lost the company the most money. Happy hunting!